Zoning Appeals meeting of March 10th, 2023 is now in session. The first order of business is to approve the minutes from the February 16th, 2023 meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any modifications or discussion? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Abstentions?
Otis, because I wasn't here.
Excuse me?
Me.
He abstains.
You abstain. Okay.
Yeah, because I wasn't here.
Gotcha. So we have 4 votes, and that's enough. The minutes are officially adopted. The second order of business is to adopt the resolution from the February 16th, 2023 meeting, V2302, 1154 and 1152 Grant Boulevard. Is there a motion to adopt the resolutions?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any modifications or discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposition? Any abstentions? Otis abstains. The resolutions are officially adopted. The board will now conduct the public hearing on today's agenda. The way we work it is that the applicant or the applicant's representative will state the reasons for the requested variance and present any material or documentation which is to be considered regarding the proposal. Next, persons wishing to speak in favor of the proposal will be given the opportunity to address the board, and persons who wish to speak in opposition will be allowed to address the board. Finally, the applicant or representative will be given the option to make any closing arguments or comments to the board. Following the public hearings this afternoon, the board may make a decision on each application heard. The board may also decide to hold this decision until the next public hearing. If the hearing is closed, no additional information will be allowed into the record except for information that the board may request. That information will be available for public review at the zoning office in City Hall Commons. Staff will now introduce our case for today.
Good afternoon. Our first case is V-91-67M1, a use variance request to waive permitted uses at 408 and 414 Lodi Street to modify an approved parking lot site plan. The owner applicant is Dick Cool, and the zoning district is residential Class B.
Is the applicant or a representative here?
Good afternoon. My name is Andy Major, here representing Dick Cool and Syracuse Cultural Workers.
Could we have an address for you, please?
Sure. My home address is 559 Buckingham Avenue here in the city of Syracuse. And the business address for the location of the business itself is 400 Lodi Street. We're a publisher of products related to social justice, sustainability, and peace, and have been operating in the city for 40 years now, do business across the country. The variance, and we're working with the Atlantic States Legal Foundation on this project, which is part of the county's Save the Rain program to prevent sewage overflows and protect our environment and particularly the health of the lake. So as part of that, we have 2 small parking lots that are not adjacent to our building but separated by houses that we use for parking for customers, and they're also used for overflow parking at events at the Art Rage Gallery, which is around the block from us. So very simple modifications we're looking for. There's 2 projects that are related but somewhat distinct at each of the parking lots. One of them involves digging up some of the asphalt and replacing it with porous pavement so that rainwater can be captured and can percolate into the soil and not become a problem for the sewage system. The second parking lot involves the creation of a rain garden and then efforts to shunt the water as it flows out into that rain garden again so it can percolate down. So there is an existing variance for these parking lots that was developed back when Caroma Restaurant owned the facility. Some of you may have eaten there with your families, a venerable institution in our community. So we think that the project, it's pretty simple, a very minor variance on what was initially granted several decades back, and obviously the city is supporting efforts to improve and preserve our environment. So I don't know if Dylan Seaver from ASLF, I don't know if you want to add anything at this point?
I'll
You'll have to go to the microphone, say your name and address, and then you're welcome to speak. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Dylan Seaver. I work for Atlantic States Legal Foundation. Our work address is 658 West Onondaga. My personal address is 4803 Bear Road, Liverpool. It's really nothing to add, just a small aside. We do environmental projects. Back in the day, in the 90s, we sued the county for violating the Clean Water Act and won. It gave birth to a lot of programs like Save the Rain. And we're still doing work like that in the city to combat CSO overflows, combined sewer overflows, as well as other, environmentally just small projects.
So
Nothing
will
really
you be
bad.
the one to install the rain garden
We will, yes.
and the asphalt too? The porous asphalt? Porous?
The porous asphalt as well, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have a question. Maybe you can answer this, or staff. Is the variance because they're taking away parking spaces and putting these gardens in, and that's not an approved use, but the parking lots are granted?
Yeah, they were granted a variance, but now they're proposing to change the site plan
Yeah. Okay.
and remove some parking spaces.
Okay.
So is this an amendment of an existing use variance, or are we starting from scratch and have to go through all of the procedures?
Well, we refer to it as a modification.
So, I mean, they don't have to show that they can't put a single-family house on the lot, for instance?
Well, I guess that's something we can discuss.
We just want to make sure, you have something?
There is an existing variance for them as parking lots, so I would very much interpret it as you said, that it's a small modification on an existing variance. They've already been approved as parking lots, and we'll be losing a couple of parking spaces because of the rain garden, and then there'll also be some reduction in parking because they'll also now be designated, lined, handicapped accessible parking spots,
So-
which...
Andy, what will be the impact of losing the parking spaces?
They'll be negligible. Our business, the two parking lots are, rarely fully utilized. Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of walk-in traffic. Mostly, we're a web order business. And we also, there's one of the houses that's on either side of the parking lots doesn't have their own real parking space, so we also let neighbors use the parking spots, the parking lots as well. So there's no broader community consequences from losing these couple of spots.
Yeah, I mean, my interpretation is, of course, that it's a parking lot, and we shouldn't be thinking of this as something that...
Well, they had a use variance. It has not been abandoned. It's continued to use. Often, somebody has a use variance and then it's been abandoned, and now we have to start from scratch. But it doesn't look like this is...
It sounds like a modification to me. Yes, our
I don't
attorney.
believe you have to go through the financial proof again.
You think you do?
I do not believe
No,
you.
great. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Can I just ask, what is, now the house in the middle there, is that your property as well, or does it,
No, it's a homeowner. So there's
they're surrounded?
there's our building, and then a next door neighbor house, and then a parking lot, and then a house between, and then the second parking lot, and then a third neighbor's house. And we've had conversations with all three neighbors about these projects, and have not heard any concerns from them. And we've made it clear that we have always tried to be good neighbors and will continue to do so. So if there's any issues with water in basements or anything like that, as you know, sometimes things shift as you do digging, that we will work with the neighbors to deal with any problems like that.
Other questions from the board?
Yeah, the transportation planner said current plantings and asphalt in the Lodi Street right-of-way are to be removed and replaced with soil, grass, and street tree if applicable. You'll be doing that?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, primarily the folks at Atlantic States will be carrying out the work, yeah.
Okay. Sidewalks and driveway apron are in hazardous condition. Damaged sidewalk flags are to be replaced in full. Current conditions and proposed updates are to be shown on plan. Sidewalk to meet city spec ADA compliant. That will be done too?
Yes.
Is it in the current plan, though?
As I recall, didn't the city say that they were,
Yeah, we were in touch with the city about the sidewalks, given the sidewalk plowing plan and the city taking over responsibility for ownership and repairing of sidewalks. And they said that while there isn't a comprehensive citywide plan, that there are already plans on the city's part to repair sidewalks in that Lodi Street area, since it's around the block from the Dr. Weeks School, so that it would be part of that.
And that's your understanding too?
yeah, I can confirm that, yep.
Now, it also says a solid fence, wall, or evergreen planting at least 5 feet high must be provided at the rear of the property. You have one now on the side. Will you be putting one at the rear?
Yeah, there is one on the rear that's in disrepair, but we will either repair it or replace it with shrubbery or trees, yeah.
Okay. Other questions? Thank you. Is there anybody here who wishes to speak in favor of the application? Come on down.
My name is Dallas Bryson. My home address is 141 Hood Avenue, and I'm here on behalf of NITA as well, which is at 101 Gertrude Street, and we'd like to support their request for the variance. I know he mentioned sometimes the parking spaces are used by other businesses, and the city is currently working on a Lodi Street connector project to improve the corridor between Butternut and Erie Boulevard, which is supposed to include also adding some on-street parking to that area. So I think even if some of these other businesses that are using these spaces lose those spaces, ultimately there will be a net gain in parking, even with the addition of the green space. And I seem to recall in previous zoning variances where people are requesting parking variances, usually the city is a big fan of ensuring that there's a suitable green space included in their plan. So this seems like an excellent opportunity to correct a space that is lacking in green space right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
My name is Glenn Lewis. I live at 418 Howard Street. I am a neighbor. In terms of disclosure, I will add that I am a member of the advisory committee for Atlantic States legal fund for this project in specific, and I am a past board member of Art Rage, the local gallery that uses that space, and we have been, as neighbors, paying close attention to vacant lot issues in our neighborhood. This is a pair of vacant lots that in fact existed prior to the designation of the LBJ Triangle. It predates that designation, and we do not think that there's a compromise involved. So we are in favor of the changes as proposed.
Thank you. Anybody wish to speak against the application? Hearing none, we will close the case. We have, let's vote on this case now. It's our only case.
Yeah, okay.
The day. Okay, is there a motion? B9167M1. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Your rationale.
Yeah, I'm looking now for standards that I won't go all the way through. The applicant cannot realize a reasonable return provided that lack of return is substantial. This is not really from what I understand it, it's not a financial, they're not making any money off this property. The alleged hardship relating to the property in question is unique. It does not apply to a substantial portion of the district. This is sort of unusual because it's a residential district that allows parking. without any residential building on it. And what they're doing here is to reduce the impact of the parking lot and to beautify them. So it's a plus for the neighborhood, I would say. The requested variance, if granted, will not alter the essential character of the neighborhood. It will improve, I would say, the essential character of the neighborhood. And is it self-created? They're taking a situation that they find and they're making it better, so I would not say it's self-created.
Thank you. Is seeker relevant to this? Okay, give us seeker negative declaration.
Seeker negative declaration.
I agree with what Michael said.
Any other comments? All those in favor of approving the variance say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. You're all, thank you. Glenn, you remember me? Judy Schmidt's husband. Stu.
I do.
Nice to see you again. Yeah, I didn't want to miss out on that. Okay, the new business is, I'm just looking for the
Stickley House.
Yes, the Stickley House. 438 and 440 Columbus Avenue is something we approved a good while back for a museum, right? And V1708 and V1708 M1 asking for an extension. Any comments? Well, do you have anybody to speak on that? No. Okay.
Don't require it.
Assuming everybody's up to date on this.
I'll make a motion so we can discuss it.
Oh, okay. Can you make a motion to this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second the motion.
They've made significant progress on the house. They've gotten significant grants. They beautifully restored the front porch. And they have more money in hand now to do more with this, and I think we should give them the time to finish the job.
They gave them, obviously COVID set them back as well.
Yeah.
Any other comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Okay. There's an authorization.
That's all right.
Oh, there's lots of them.
3.
Yeah, okay, there are 3 authorizations for March 30th. Just looking at them, so 322 long use. Do we have a motion to approve the authorizations?
I'll second.
Okay.
I'll approve it.
Mike made the motion. Mike Cheswick made the motion. Mike Stanton approved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, aye. That's approved. Motion to adjourn.
We're on Thursday next time.
Yeah, we were on Thursday. We're back to our regular schedule.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.